Well, to put a spin on it that's current, I just finished writing an article about Andrew Forrest, and he has been given several $1 million to take his super yacht around the coast of Western Australia to collect water samples about eDNA of fish, which, if you're a billionaire, surely you can fund that kind of thing yourself. And the question becomes, well, yes, we understand why people take money from the government, but why are our politicians giving away so much of our public money during a financial crisis they created to these projects? And as far as I can tell, it's because they want to furnish their eco PR campaign, because they know they have to approve more coal and gas as the energy crisis hits home. Is it a similar problem in Canada, where you've got PR companies running for basically net zero stuff to make the politicians happy?
Yeah, you've got your really large companies that are household names that don't really seem as concerned about this because they know that they're basically going to be fine. But when you get to the level below that, which is a large group in Canada, these medium-sized oil and gas companies that are basically being written out of the Canadian economy by the government, it's quite shameful. And when I was in Davos, not this recent time, but last time, there was one gentleman who was India's petroleum and gas minister who was on a panel discussion, and he was saying, oh yeah, we need to accelerate the transition away from oil and gas. I'm like, you're in India. Like, he's not at all from a country that's doing this. And I asked him about this on the street. I ran into him and I said, is this, my first question was something along the lines of, is this even a realistic thing? I was gearing up for a bigger question. And then his answer was, oh yeah, that's what we say in the room. But if you talk to people in the developing world, it's totally different. So he didn't even care to keep up the pretense when he wasn't in the room with the Davos people. But the problem is people like Justin Trudeau, people like your prime minister, they want the affection and friendship and love of the Davos crowd.
Yes, but they're not very keen on saving the world because our government has banned nuclear energy, which is, of course, if you believe that carbon is killing the world, well, then you go nuclear if you're actually serious. And then we're banning the mining of uranium, so the rest of the world doesn't get to have any of that benefit. And Australia, as you know, holds most of the uranium. So these people don't seem to be very serious about their coming doomsday apocalypse. But what do you think it will take to get rid of somebody like Trudeau, considering how much has gone down and how many abuses of power that we've seen, how much corruption is going on in the Canadian political landscape? These leaders don't seem to ever be dislodged from their power. So what do you think it will actually take, or will they just coast along forever until they get bored of power?
Well, it's a good question, and one I've become increasingly pessimistic on, because Justin Trudeau has proven to be scandal-proof. He is someone who the scandals just hit him and fall right to the ground without really denting him. And there was some protective coating in the blackface that just kept everything else away from him, apparently. But what was quite unfortunate, like right now, there's a huge China scandal in Canada where we're finding that China interfered significantly in our last two elections, which the Liberals both won. And the big scandal, though, has been that Canada's intelligence service knew about this and was warning the government, and the government under Trudeau wasn't really doing anything about it. So right now, this is actually causing a little bit of a pressure point. So maybe it will cause Canadians to be a little bit more concerned. But I think there needs to be just a wholesale culture shift right now, because you need a strong conservative opposition. And the one story we see almost globally right now is that there's no strong opposition to these people.